Speaking of which, let's do it. Let's do
Yeah, that's what I'm
fucking
saying. Let's get
Batman
into Batman
Returns.
Returns. The one thing I want to say, first off, we all know. I mean, I'm sure you guys all know this now. But that guy that played Chip was fucking Leatherface in 2003's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which one's Chip?
The son.
Oh no, I didn't fucking know that.
You
That's
didn't know that?
crazy.
Yeah, that's
I did
that.
not know that.
Yeah, he was Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre the 03, and he was in the beginning. Leatherface. It's crazy.
That's nuts,
and then
dude.
he was also in Unnecessary Roughness with Scott Bakula as one of the football players that defends him. Like that big fucking dude with the big chin.
That's a great movie. And
Yeah,
by the
awesome.
way, D. Mitch 14 says, Michael J, what's y'all's favorite toy growing up? It's ironic because my favorite toy was the 1989 Batmobile. That was fucking awesome.
You know, I don't know. I do remember I loved the Exo Squad toys. I played with the fuck out of those. Like the little robots, Exo Squad. It was a cartoon, but you could put like little men inside these little robots and like fight. I don't know. It was cool. I like.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really like the show that much, but the toys were cool as shit. But yeah, dude. So this movie, the one thing I gotta say about it, it's like, holy fuck, it's weird as shit. Like, I mean, I like it, but it's so fucking weird. And you could definitely tell that he had just made Edward Scissorhands and he still had that fucking freakiness with him when he did this movie. And the thing is, here's the weird, because I was reading some stuff about it because I was like, I didn't really know all this backstory with the movie. One of the weirdest things that I read about it was that one of the actors, the first thing is Catwoman was supposed to be Annette Bening, but she got pregnant and dropped out. But also Sean Young, who, do you know this chick was fucking Finkel's Einhorn. She was Detective Einhorn in Ace Ventura, the one with the big nuts in the back, was supposed to be.
I could see that.
She was going to be, originally she was cast as Vicky Vale in the first one, but she had, for whatever reason, she didn't get it. So she like expected that she deserved the role of Catwoman. And they're like, no, fuck you. You've got balls on the back of your pants.
Maybe it was the worst case of hemorrhoids I've ever seen.
Yeah. A doctor could do that over the weekend. But no, but the other thing is Cher and Madonna were also up for the role. And then also the girl from Flashdance was up for the role.
Somebody, there was a Rotten Tomatoes review that I read about this, and they had a really good point. They were like, why is this movie not just called Catwoman? And it wasn't meant to be like a knock against the film. But honest to God, like, I feel like Michelle Pfeiffer is, they gave her a lot of time, and I think she kind of stole the show. I mean,
pretty much. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too, is I feel like, well, first off, Michael Keaton got like $10 million to this movie. So he already upped his fucking, so he didn't give a shit. I think he was like, all right, fine, whatever. Just put a zipper on the suit so I can pee. And I'll do it. Even if I'm not the main guy of the show. The other thing
prefers this to 89's Batman.
But the other thing is, I almost give it to Michelle Pfeiffer because I didn't know this. She wore that latex fucking sexy suit 12 to 14 hours a day, and she could only take it off during lunch breaks to pee.
Yeah,
fuck that.
It was apparently so tight. It was apparently so tight it would make her like lightheaded and shit.
Well, yeah, they said they had to put talcum powder on her to squeeze her into it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
fucked up.
It's like that bitch gonna be preserved. But you know, it was weird. Some of the other interesting facts about it was that they did the guy that came in and took over the original script they had, because the original script was going to be Catwoman and Penguin hunting hidden treasure, which is like, I mean, then all of a sudden Nicolas Cage from National Treasure shows up and stops them. But that was going to be the original plot, and they were going to explore the Robin Batman scenario. But then the guy that they hired to come in to rewrite it was like, they kind of, he said the Robin thing was originally Robin was going to be leader of a like a juvenile gang, and then all of a sudden he starts helping Batman, and then he got changed to a young black actor or character that was going to be working in a garage with the letter R on his, where his name should be stenciled, and they cast Marlon Wayans to be that guy, and then he was going to build his story up for the third one. I'm glad they didn't fucking do that, because it'd be terrible. But actually, the writer that the final story, the writer said, dude, this is what he literally said, like, quote, he said, Robin is the most worthless character in all of the comics and the movies, because he said, how are you going to have because he said basically Batman is the loner of loners. He doesn't need a Robin. There was because he called him a worthless character. He didn't like it at all.
God, he's got a point.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Robin. And then, and so they moved on, and then they did. And I also read that he did flirt with the idea of, when Max Schreck played by the great Christopher Walken, when she's like, how about a kiss, Santa Claus? That was supposed to be Harvey Dent, and they were going to scar the side of his face. And then he was going to have scarred up, and then you'll see the last part of the film was going to be him flipping a coin, landing on the good side, and then it was going to go into the third one.
Now that makes sense, because if
I think they missed the opportunity with Billy D. Williams.
They did, because he would have been an amazing Two-Face, and if that electrical situation is what caused the fucked upness on his face,
that was what they were going to do. That because he said that the guy, and I can't remember his name, the guy that came in that they hired to take over the script, the script, because there was like 5 rewrites, but one of the main things that they focused on was the Harvey Dent thing, and he was only going to appear in the end of the movie. Because he was going to appear throughout, like sporadically, because they didn't really want to focus on him. But he was going to come back, and that last part, she kidnapped him, or he got kidnapped by the Penguin. She gives him a kiss, burns the side of his face. Then he flips a coin. He's Two-Face, and then that's it. And it was going to, they were going to move with Billy D. Williams in the Tim Burton universe. And then that never happened. They cut it out, so they just didn't really have a plan for it. But yeah, overall, you know what about this movie? I like this movie a lot, and I think I like this movie. I don't like this movie a lot. I like this movie okay, but I like it a lot because it has a lot of nostalgic value for me because of all the toys and shit.
That's the true. That's the true thing about this. It's not just the toys, but like, okay, so when this movie came out, Batman '89, and your and I's universe as kids, it was like the biggest thing in the world. The toys, those golden boxes, just the lettering, all of it, man. That was that was our childhood. So when Batman Returns came out as a kid, it was so fucking shitty, dude, because it pissed a lot of people off. Now, I got a PG-13 rating, but it pissed a lot of people off. I remember seeing the poster on the marquee of Batman Returns and my parents not allowing me to go see it because apparently it was so sexual and it was so violent. It was so gothic. And that was a big, I remember, I can't tell you exactly. I haven't looked it up since, but like, that was a big deal then. Like a lot of people were really upset about this in my world, at least. And like the first time I saw it was when Dad and I were at Toys R Us, and he just picked it up and he was looking at the VHS, and that's the time VHS for like $20 or $26 or whatever. And I'm like, please fucking do it, please.
That covers.
And he bought it, and I was like, yes, fuck yeah, here we go. But the thing about this movie, dude, is that a lot of us had to wait to see it, and it's just there is a nostalgia there to it because the snow, Batman in the snow, and Catwoman. It's a time in our lives, but we can do what we did with the last one and just give our ratings really early. Mine has gone down a lot. Watching this as an adult, watching this week, so many fucking problems with this movie, dude. This movie to me is a 7.5 out of 10, and that 0.5 probably just comes from my nostalgic love.
That literally is my score, 7.5.
Yeah,
and it wasn't always so. It wasn't always so. But I gotta be honest with you, it's weird. There's something about it that it feels smaller in scope. I don't know why. It just feels way smaller. It feels like you're on a soundstage, like the entire fucking. It feels like it's one road that they just they reuse constantly. Whereas in Batman '89, it felt like you were actually going, and moving through Gotham, and there was a lot more scenery, and there was a lot better production value. Even though they had more money to work with this in this one, it just felt. And then I felt like Tim Burton, and I feel like the Penguin and Danny DeVito, while they did great, and I mean, it was, Danny DeVito did what he did with the character. I feel like it was so far removed from the comic book of Oswald Cobblepot. I just, the thing about it is, I feel like what Tim Burton was truly going for a Grimm's tale, fairy tale. It really did feel like a gothic fairy tale on screen. There's nothing wrong with that, but I also felt like it was kind of not a Batman movie. But I will say what it does do is it gives evidence for people to shut the fuck up about Batfleck, because in this movie, that motherfucker kills 2 people straight up. He sets one dude on fire, and then he puts a bomb on the other motherfucker and throws him down a sewer hole. And he's like, and then he even goes, he smiles at him. So he's like, I know I'm going to kill you. So
he did.
I was like, I don't want to ever hear again, oh, Batman don't kill people, because they were doing it in 1991 or 92 when this movie came out.
Exactly. And the thing about this movie, dude, is that like Batman '89 felt like a Batman film that they got Tim Burton to direct. Batman Returns feels like a Tim Burton film that happens to be about.
Well, he didn't even want to come back.
So, he didn't want to make. They had all these ties in. They said they were going to make it. It was going to be a really strong follow up to the other one. And both him and Keaton were like, "No, we don't want a straight up sequel. We want a new story." But like this was more Burton than it was Batman. And there's highlights to that though. Like there's the good thing about, and this is why I think, personally, why I think Keaton likes it more than the original Batman. The dichotomy that they did with Bruce Wayne and Batman, and his love story with Catwoman and Michelle Pfeiffer. That was beautiful. At the end, there's problems with it at the end where he's ripped off his mask and
Well, I
like,
hated that because he destroyed his fucking mask.
oh, I got problems with that scene as a whole
Yeah.
for sure. But like just the idea that that he's all this talk about duality, all this talk about how he's basically a Norman Bates type, he's kind of a psycho. Like I feel like they leaned into the fucked up parts of Bruce Wayne's psyche without overtly being like, my mom and dad died.
And I know this is gonna be this could be a little controversial, dude. I think the guy that got it right better that could have explored it if studio hadn't interfered with him was Joel Schumacher in the third one, because that was all about duality too. And he was like, I see a book. I mean, it was really dealing with the PTSD of Bruce Wayne and having to fuck with that.
But I agree with that. But I like the fact that this was more gothic. It was it was like you said, Grimm's fairy tale. I think it's almost like the most emo Batman ever for sure.
It really is.
But
I thought he was gonna have black fingernail polish.
But they dug into that, and I enjoy that part about it. And I thought I think it's one of the more interesting for sure. Like I think it has more layers to it than a lot of Batman movies do. But the reason that I like this movie less as I get older is because even though it has that really cool idea inside of it, you cannot overlook, and I feel like we do. I feel like we all overlook some of the stupid fucking shit in this movie, dude. The fact that a guy goes to fight Batman with a sword in his throat, like we get it. They're from the circus. I don't need Batman to pull the sword out of his throat. And like, and Penguin with all of his contraptions and like the fucking penguins with the bombs on their back.
Well,
some of it was so stupid.
They were going with more. I think they were trying to approach Penguin in a more cartoony way, or at least the way that he was remembered from the TV show, which I think is a dumb idea. I think that was a dumb move because Danny DeVito is a great actor, and I feel like that weird freaky thing they went with, I feel like they were focusing so much on that they forgot to tell a good fucking story with it. Like I don't know, I don't think they fleshed him out to a point where because Penguin is one of the Batman's more deadly villains. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's smart. He knows how to do shit. Like he's got his shit together more than he's just a fucking weirdo like that had, Pee-wee as his dad. And of course you'll be fucked up because of that. Paul Rubens was his dad, by the way. But yeah, dude, there was something about this movie. I just feel weird when I watch it, and I enjoy parts of it, and then I fucking hate other parts of it, and then I'm like, I don't know why. It's just a weird like a mishmash of like hate and love. I feel like a Def Leppard song.
Totally.
But here's the thing. Also, some of the humor that they tried to add in it is just okay. I got a big problem with it as an adult and older watching it. I was like, that's fucking stupid. When she jumps down and she's like, did someone say fish? And it's like, no one was talking about your vagina, cat bitch. But anyway, when she jumps down and she's going to take the ice princess away. And then she's like, I haven't eaten all day. And then Batman's like, eat floor, more fiber. I'm like, oh God, dude, don't say that. Stop it. Like, that's not, it just didn't work for the scene. It kind of came off as forced and just kind of corny. But sometimes the humor did work, like specifically when Batman regains the control of the car and he's trying to, flip the thing so the bat car becomes a bat cock and fits between the two buildings. And he's like, all right, well, now I'm in trouble or whatever. He's like, now I'm worried. That was funny. That made sense. That was cool. But other than that, like sometimes when they tried to put a little bit of humor into Batman, and I know they were trying to, maybe the studio was like, well, he's got to be like, you can't make it so grim where he's. And I was like, well, that's what Batman is. And so I don't know if Tim Burton had to have acquiesced as some of the, I feel like there was some studio involvement, specifically with the dialogue. And so he was like, all right, we'll make him a little bit better, but Batman's not a wisecracking guy. He's just not. He gets business done. Then he goes to homes and fucks the prom queen. That's what he does. You're bashed. Only losers say you're bashed. The winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Like Sean Connery said. But the thing is, it's a love and hate relationship with this movie. I don't know what it is. I love it and then I hate it. It's fucking weird.
Dude, I think that's well said because I feel the exact same way. I'm watching it and I enjoy, dude. I love Gotham in the snow and I love how they did all that shit. And the Batman fight scenes are really cool.
Yeah.
And all that. But like, and some of this, like, I like it's a really cool idea that like they would fuck with the Batmobile and they would take control of it. But then why does he have to walk in there and get in the Batman toymobile and like, to me, aesthetically, like they made some really stupid, corny decisions with it. And then, for instance, like if you watch this thinking at all, it's stupid because like Max Schreck makes sense. I love Christopher Walken's character as Max Schreck, and he was scary.
Good. No, I like Max. Yeah, Max Schreck was good.
And we'll talk about him.
But I think Max Schreck could have been a good Penguin. Look, just have him be Penguin.
Yeah. But like, I honestly like Danny DeVito did great in the role, and the aesthetic of it, and the way he looked all nasty and shit, like that was really cool.
You know, the
and,
only
like,
I have a problem with the aesthetic though. You didn't see any butt crack stains on that white suit that he's walking. That
oh, I
motherfucker
thought
would
you
have
did.
like train tracks, like train track crust marks on his
At the end,
pants.
dude, when he's walking and you see his
Yeah, dude, I was
crack,
like,
there's totally some skid
that's
marks in there.
straight train tracks
But
every
like,
day.
I actually think that and I have a hard time saying this because I don't want it to come off wrong, because I actually think Danny DeVito did a great job.
Well,
I
of course,
think he was,
did. I mean, yeah.
but I think the character of the Penguin was built really stupidly. Like, okay, so they dump this baby over the ledge. I get it. He's unwanted. I get the tie to his parents. I get his motivation. I get all that.
Yeah.
But like his powers and shit. Like, okay, so he was born with fucking flippers. His mom fuck a fish, whatever. Like, I get that. But like,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he can make umbrellas that fly. He's goddamn what's the guy's goddamn fucking Tesla dude?
Elon Musk.
He's fucking Elon Musk now, and like, where did he get all these fucking, like, did he just go to a circus and recruit people? Like, come down to the fucking sewer.
What I think that Tim Burton, I think not Elon Musk, Oswald Cobblepot is actually in the comic books. He is a very intelligent person. I mean, and he rivals Bruce Wayne up until the point he becomes the Penguin. Like he's the dark side of Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
He came from a family of like astute family, and he influenced money, all that stuff, but he chose a different path, and he was smart too, and then he chose a different path and becomes the dark side, the dark reflection of Bruce Wayne. So that's why that would have been really cool if they explored that. But the grotesque like penguin flippers and shit like that, that's not why that was dumb. I always thought that was kind of stupid to do that. I mean, you're literally almost making him a fat fucking penguin that walked out of goddamn Alaska. Like that's not what he looks like in the comic books at all. But I get he wanted to do this fairy tale, this grim, dark, gothic fairy tale, and that's what he was doing. The other thing is, I did think what was really, dude, this is crazy. They actually, Paul Rubens played the father of Penguin in this, and I mean he did a good job, and he wasn't in it much or whatever. He was just more of a cameo.
They wanted the original Burgess Meredith to do it. Yeah,
fucking cool. Mickey. That's what dude. Mickey was gonna be.
He throws the baby over. He's like, "You're a tomato can."
I hope. Yeah. And then when it falls in the water, he's like, when he has a long cigarette. Like,
and the Penguin's down there. He's like, Batman. "It stinks. This whole thing stinks."
Get up, you son of a bitch. But Father Cobblepot loves you. It was.
I hated him. I hated the story of the Penguin.
I did not like the direction they took with the Penguin in this. And I agree with the assessment that one person that you mentioned said that it was a Catwoman show. I think it was. I think that you focus so hard on making, and I get it. I understand why you did it, but I feel like you focus so hard on that character. Batman almost became a supporting character in this rather than the actual star of the fucking movie. His name's on the goddamn title card. I mean, and it's like he only, I don't know. I don't know. This movie's fucking weird, dude. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like it's like you had some sex with some girl and you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with my wiener. I enjoyed the sex, but I might have picked up an STD.
Kind of. Yeah, it's kind of right. And like, and I'll say this, like, going into some positive stuff. Another thing, just real quick, while we're talking about the negatives, I do have a lot of positive shit to say, but like, the negatives, like the penguins, all that shit. Again, like, if the penguin lives in the sewer system, why can't people go down there and stop him? What, you don't want to go in the sewer because it's dirty? Like, there's just so, and the fucking penguins with the missiles. I mean, I think it all speaks for itself. It's really fucking stupid. I mean, just really stupid. I mean,
you might be stupid because how do you know that they couldn't have penguins with missiles strapped to their back that do what you tell them to do?
Yeah, penguins living in the sewer. Like, you're wrong. They didn't even try. They were just
like, that's actually Elon Musk's new fucking venture.
But with the Joker, like, he had a story. You believe that you
understand. Well, no, I mean, Tim Burton's Batman '89 was superior to this movie all the way around. Now, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about the negative because people are going to think that we fucking are trashing this movie.
And that's what I was going to say. That, like, I love this movie for a lot of reasons, but that's just why I can't really go there with it anymore as much as I used to love it. But Catwoman, I thought Michelle Pfeiffer, definitely, no doubt, the best quintessential Catwoman of all time. She's really fucking awesome.
She's dude, fuck you, Anne Hathaway. Not somebody knew that guy. You knew I was lying right when I said Anne. But she is. She's extremely seductive. She's got that down to a role. She's got the mystique kind of thing going for her. She looks hot as fuck in that leathery suit. She's definitely got it going on where it needs to be going on. And you know what? Even though the character itself is not done to to justice to Oswald Cobblepot. Danny DeVito is a good Penguin. I mean, he's a good actor, and I feel like if that role had been better expanded on and kind of changed from what they went with, I think he'd been perfect in that role. I mean, he really was perfect.
The makeup department did an amazing job with him too.
Yeah, he looks
fucking
good.
awesome.
The action sequences in the movie are awesome. They're fucking cool as shit. I do like one of my favorite moments is, dude, to me, iconic of Batman. And this isn't the action scene, but when Batman's sitting there in the chair and he's like looking all like sexy with his turtleneck.
Oh my god,
and
I love that scene.
And like, send the signal, and then the basket goes, and then the light hits him. He goes, and he gets that one eyebrow cock, and he stands up. Dude, I was like, that's what it's like when you find out it's an open bar somewhere. And he just looked at it, he's like, I must go out. That is to me iconic fucking Batman. That is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like on screen, as far as Batman, I'll always remember that particular scene. And again, Michael Keaton did awesome again, and he suited up and he was awesome as Batman. And so the action sequences were good. The music was awesome. You know, and I didn't have a problem with any of that. Like I said, like there is a lot of stuff that I love, and then certain moments happen. I'm like, I fucking hate it. Like, I fucking hate your face. But it's like you love that bitch, but you hate her sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like Keaton as Batman was fucking great in this. I thought he was great. My favorite thing about him in both of these movies, dude, is right before he punches somebody, he like you could see his eyes and his smile. He's like, and then he goes to hit him, like that perfect Keaton face. It's beautiful. But like you said, the action scenes with Batman were great. He was awesome in them. I love Keaton in this. I love the stuff with Keaton as Bruce Wayne in this. They overdid it maybe just a little bit in 89, but in this one, dude, when he's sitting there and he's watching TV and Alfred's putting the Christmas tree, I was like, Alfred, by the way, was a total stage 9 clinger in this. Like he was constantly like, Bruce is just sitting there like eating a hot pocket. He's like, something wrong, sir? Or he would text her, or he'd call and be like, hey, are you okay, dude? Like he was really worried about.
Well, I like what Alfred was like. Well, it was kind of good because Batman got one in on old Alfred because he said, we need to talk about security. He's like, security. He's like, I was sitting there minding my own business, and who lets Vicky Vale into the Batcave? Oh, I turn around like, oh, hey, Vic, come on in.
I love that.
I like his face. He's like, I was like, I know, I did that. I did that.
Dude, I laughed my ass off at that scene because I was like, yes, because that was true. Like Alfred fucked him on that for sure.
Yeah.
But like all the stuff at Wayne Manor, even though it was super brief, just it being Christmas and Alfred working on the Christmas tree and all that. I like when he took a sip of the soup and he was like, it's cold. He's like,
it's supposed to be cold.
But I liked Alfred a lot in this one. And just
I like when he ripped up the fucking invitation. He's like, this dreadful party. He's like, I'm not going to that. He's like, wait, Selena could be there. Go ahead and tell me. And he's like,
his face.
He stormed because he just ripped the fucker in two. He's like,
I'm going to have to tape it together. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Like that kind of humor was welcome. I did like that. But when it's over the top, like eat floor, more fiber, and shit like that, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there were some bad lines in there for sure. But like, and again, I love Catwoman. Like there were some cringy lines there too, for sure. But I thought Michelle Pfeiffer crushed that role. And like, she's my favorite Catwoman easily. And I don't think she'll ever be topped. There's no doubt.
We haven't seen the new one yet.
And I just don't think it has a chance. But
just because she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter, okay? Don't be stupid.
But she was full on Catwoman. They had the balls to go with it, and they did it, and it worked. But
you know, I will say she was great in the role, but I really could have seen, honest to God, because she was up for the role, Madonna, because of what she did in Dick Tracy. She was that seductive kind of girl in Dick Tracy. I think she could have pulled it off pretty well too.
She could have pulled those parts for sure. But like their relationship, I actually like, and I never give a shit, to be honest with you, about Catwoman. I just don't. I get it. Like, oh, is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? I'm one of those people. I like to get to the fucking point. So I'm like, let's just get it over with. Is she a good guy or goddamn bad guy? Yeah. But in this one, the way they did that, where they were sexually, like super sexually attracted to each other. And she's standing up there and she's like, that's not you. And when she finds it, she's like, that's you.
Dude, I like how his face was like,
That's what I was going to say. His face, he literally goes, when she starts to like go down under, he's like,
it's like I wish he'd go like, keep going. Big surprise. Huge surprise. If you go
his face though. Dude, he totally did the. He's like, I want that, and then they get in the fight. But then, like, I actually enjoyed their relationship in this, where I haven't in any other movie ever. Even when they're on the couch and they're making out, and like they're worried about their scars and shit like that. Like, I really dig Catwoman in this movie. Like, I don't think it'll ever be done as good.
I feel like Catwoman. You know, the thing is, when Catwoman is added into the movie of a Batman flick, I kind of feel like about her. I just don't care. I don't know.
Now I don't.
I could live without it, and if it's in the movie, fine. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of like, I, okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
She,
Like, I really don't give a shit. I mean, it's almost like for a lot of people, it's the same thing as Robin. I don't care,
yeah.
like because you make her play this character that plays the gray line. She plays the gray line a lot. You know, she's like sometimes good, sometimes bad, and that's okay. That's unique, but I get kind of tired of it too. So yeah, she was great in the movie. I mean, obviously it was based around her and Penguin, but I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I was like, all right, can you guys go back to Batman now and what he's doing, his detective work?
Yeah.
Can we
But
talk about that?
I did love her origin story though, and we always quote it all the time. Like, dude, I know you do that. I know you do it because I do it too. Like, you ever walk in and nobody's at your house and you shut the door behind you, like, honey, I'm home. Oh, yeah.
I'm not married. But you are married. I can say it.
I know, but I still
forgot I'm married. Yeah. Well, that and then the whole thing when she breaks out, when she robs the or she blows up the Shrek's department store and she's like, meow. And then, you know, Danny V was like, saw her first, gotta fly. And then
you're just the pussy I've been looking for.
Yeah, it's like things change.
But no, like I really did love Michelle Pfeiffer's performance in this. And like, but again, one knock I'll have against it, it makes no fucking sense. Like, I mean, you put all this work into this movie and she gets thrown out of a window. And how does she get her superpowers, Jay? Like, how the fuck does she a bunch of cats 100%. Chew on her for a second?
I said the fucking same thing. I was like, did the cats pee on her? And then they just had like superpowers. Because like the cats are biting her fingers and she's going, oh. She looked like a crack whore coming out of like after someone Narcaned her ass.
It's a cool looking scene, but like,
yeah, and then so all of a sudden she literally can be like fucking thrown off buildings, like someone could shoot her in the fucking face and she's got 9 lives. When the fuck did this happen? Yeah, like I'm not kidding. Like literally, it's so weird. But I you know what I chalk it up to? I'm like, all right, this is Tim Burton fucking universe, so anything goes. So whatever. I don't know. Yeah. But I then not only that, when she becomes Catwoman, she knows how to do Jackie Chan karate. Mm-hmm. She knows how to use a whip correctly. I don't know. I get the point where her brain's kind of fucked up, so she's kind of a different personality. But the whole fighting thing and all that stuff, I was like, where did that happen? Because if it made more sense if she mentioned that she used to go to a self-defense class and practice, or she was a black belt while she was an assistant or secretary. I don't know.
Yeah, literally, the cats nibbling on her gave her her powers.
I hate that part where that cat's going. They keep showing it. I was like, stop showing it.
But it's I really do love her origin story though, and that's what's sad about it, because like where she's like, you know, the boyfriend's breaking up with her, saying that he can't be an appendage or whatever, and her mom's on the phone, and Max Schreck treats her like shit, and then like she gets shoved. That scene where she gets shoved out of the window was bad. Dude,
that was scared.
Christopher Walken was good in that.
Yeah, that was scared me because he does it. He was like, he's like, I'm like, woo, that's kind of scared me. Max, by the way, Max Schreck, Christopher Walken, highlight of the movie. Highlight, maybe the best part. Maybe the best part.
He was perfect throughout.
Yeah, and by the way, I always do is weird when I saw, because it had been a minute since I'd seen the movie, and you know, the way he's dressed and his fucking hair and shit, he looked like he had just invented something based around electricity, and he was so excited to tell the world. But I looked this up because his costume and the way that they made him look, he's actually based. This is actually on Wikipedia as well. He's based on J.P. Morgan from the 1800s, the one that because I was telling April, I was like, he looks like a fucking railroad tycoon from the 1800s. And that's literally what JP Morgan was. That's why he wears the fucking weird shit. But yeah, I loved him, dude. I thought he was great. And, you know, originally for him, Max Schreck was supposed to be, they were going to have a Cobblepot. He was supposed to be the golden child of the Cobblepot family. And that because of Penguin and his deformities, he was the one that was cast aside. So Max Schreck and him were brothers. But and then there was a revenge plot somewhere around there, you know, the whole thing that, you know, Oswald finds out about Max. But either way, I think that Max Schreck, honest to God, if you had cut out Penguin and just had Max Schreck and Catwoman being the main villains of this movie, I think that, I'm not saying it would be a better or worse movie. I think that Max Schreck is a better villain overall than either one of them.
I agree with you. Like, no, I'm 100% there with you. I don't think it's Danny DeVito's fault, and the costume department did a great job on him. But that character ended up just making no fucking sense. You know?
Yeah, well, Penguin. You know what's weird is that actually that's dead on, dude. Because the guy that they brought in to rewrite the script, and he's the ultimate guy that wrote the script. The big problem that they were having with Batman Returns when it came out was that Penguin had no master plan. They had no idea what to do with the character. Like they had the idea for the character, they knew what the direction they wanted to go with the character, but the overall problem was they had no master plan. So what was the master plan? So when that whole thing with him running for mayor and shit, they literally borrowed from 2 episodes in the Adam West series where he runs for mayor. And actually one of the plot lines were that got rejected, but they wound up using for Batman and Robin was Penguin tries to freeze the city because they didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, we got this fucking Ferrari in the garage and I want to drive it, but shit, I don't have a woman.
Yeah, I think
what am I gonna do?
Penguin should have definitely been in the periph. They shouldn't have tried to explain it. They shouldn't have tried to show his lair.
He should have been a Max Shrek character, like an Emperor Palpatine pulling the strings and having puppets do out what. I think it would have been cool to have the Penguin pulling the strings of Max Shrek. Max Shrek is the main bad guy in this movie, along with Catwoman. And then toward the end of the movie, you get Harvey Dent and Penguin. You find out has been pulling all the strings.
That's a good idea. Or if you use Penguin as like the what's the is it Star Wars where they throw, like, you know how there's like a thing in movies where that will throw you in the dungeon with the creature. You know what I mean? Like if Penguin was down there and he didn't say that much, he didn't have that many lines, they didn't try to do this big, he didn't have all the penguins, he didn't have all that shit, but you had him being disgusting, like he was living under the ground, and shit like that. And they like they would throw people down there, like they would put people down there, like he was more of a background character, but that was really fucked up and grotesque and scary, and you used him in kind of in that light.
Honest to God, I would have done, they already kind of they seeded the ground for it. If you look at when Batman is researching who Penguin is, and he finds out that he leads the Red Triangle gang, the circus gang, I would have done 100%. Max Shrek's the main villain. You have Catwoman in it still. Michelle Pfeiffer is still going to do the same story basically with her and Max Shrek. But what you do is you have that, because it says that in the article that Batman's reading that the aquatic boy or whatever disappeared before they could ask him questions and kidnapped a bunch of kids. To the end of the movie, he's introduced as maybe Batman, after the confrontation with Catwoman and Max Shrek, someone was like, this was all put together by someone else. He finds a clue and he's like, oh yeah, and he goes, yeah, his street name's Penguin.
Yeah.
And then you show Danny DeVito, and then you go into Batman 3. And then that was Penguin's like introduction. Like he was pulling all the fucking, like I said, he's pulling all the strings behind all of it. Because that's why when I think of Penguin is not like a physical intimidation. It's his mind that's fucking scary.
Yeah. And the only reason I think of that, like, hey, I'm going to put you down here with this fucked up monster, is just because they made him so grotesque. If they put him in a more horrific light and didn't have him in front of the camera so much, it would have been really scary.
Right. And I don't think you should have deformed him. I think he should have been just a normal guy. Like,
yeah, I agree with you on that, like going the other way with it. Totally. And the thing is, dude, like for 75% of the movie, I didn't hate the Penguin. It was the end where they really fucked him up. I mean, it's dumb that he's pulling up and he just can randomly pull up in any building in that stupid duck. That's dumb. And that was to sell fucking toys. But
I'll kill you momentarily if I need a cold drink of water.
But
by the way, I will say really quick, I know this is off topic, but I just want to say this. Danny DeVito did admit, and he didn't admit, but I mean, they asked an interview in like 2019 if that was real raw fish. It totally was real raw fish.
Ooh, I was wondering that when I watched it.
Dude, I looked it up. I actually looked it up. I was like, did Danny DeVito eat real raw fish? That's apparently it was bluefish or blue. I don't know if it's called bluegill, but it was real raw. I mean, it was legit raw.
Nasty,
and
dude.
He said, because he was like, yeah, actors only settle for the freshest. And then they were like, oh, well, they were like, your breath had to be like stank.
I wondered that when I watched it.
Dude, listen to this. That particular scene that I guess they were asking him about is, when he runs from, after it's revealed that he's going to run for mayor, and then he starts eating that fish out of the package. He was eating that. That's legit a raw fish.
That's
And they
fucking
said
gross.
that, and he was like, yeah, well, what happened was, he said, in between in between scenes, he said he would put mouthwash and this thing called cyprilium or whatever to make that black oozy shit in his mouth. It's mouthwash mixed with this basically this GNC vitamin, and he would, like a pill form, and he would put it in his mouth.
He just looks like me after I drink wine. Like, you know what I mean? Like your teeth get all fucking purple and shit. But yeah, that's fucking nasty, dude. That's
but
really nasty.
that was legit raw fish, because he was like, yeah, that's what I guess Burton wanted him to be authentic. So
let's talk about the ending. I think we covered most shit. Like I like that they brought out the bat boat. What do you call it? Like the fucking,
I think they called it a bat ski boat or something.
Yeah, I like that.
I was like, how'd you get that motherfucker in the fucking sewer to begin with? Because it couldn't go over land. Did Alfred like have a crane truck put it down there? Like, this is so weird.
Well, all
I
the
had
updates
the toy, though. I
made,
remember the toy.
by the way, like all the updates they made were great. Like I thought the Batmobile was a little cooler. I thought the bat suit, it went from like more leathery abs to like a mechanical abs.
Well, that's what they took away the hard body suit, like he had like abs and shit in the first one, and this was just a straight line. I think Batman Returns suit is the best suit of all time.
I
really do.
Go
I
with
think
the
Batman
first one,
Returns.
but I do like the Returns one almost.
Well, they also changed the symbol too, to make it more reflective of the comic book, which I didn't really notice that much of the difference. But I mean, I wasn't paying attention. But I think the suit in Batman Returns is the best looking suit.
Yeah, and the detective stuff Batman does in this one's really good too. When he's trying to figure out what's going on with the Penguin and stuff, and he's trying to like get down to the bottom of that. I thought that stuff was really good. I think this movie's underrated for how much they do with the Batman detective story a little bit when he's trying to figure out about the Penguin.
What I think is funny is, like, you know that part where Penguin is taking control of the Batmobile and he puts that CD in. When I was a kid, I thought he was trying to play music to get him off the screen and take control. Like, and he's like, "Oh, maybe it's a glitch in my radio."
It was stupid, by the way.
Years later, I was like, "Oh, he's trying to record that shit."
Yeah, but it was kind of. But it's a sign of.
I thought he just had a burned CD and he had like some songs on there that he was trying to play.
It's like CD-ROM, Alfred, and then he puts it on. He's literally doing like the turntables to it. But I like how that whole storyline went. I thought it showcased Batman's detective skills really well.
Did you not get what I'm saying, though? Does it not feel small to you on a scale that?
No, totally.
89, it feels so small.
It really does. It feels like everything took place in that one little court where the Christmas lighting ceremony was going to happen.
It was like a small town in Gotham. It wasn't like a small suburb.
Yeah, and I agree with you about Shrek too. I fucking love Shrek. I thought he was great. Max Shrek. I thought that he was scary, he was intimidating, he was perfect. But all that being said, all the corny shit put aside, and we like the fighting scenes, and I like what they did with the Batmobile. I love the way things look. The Batmobile, when he goes to dress up and they show him putting it on piece by piece, that was fucking dope.
I love that.
I really like that. I liked everything that happened at the Batcave. I thought they nailed the Batcave this time.
Yeah.
Even in the living room. Like, it was so cool.
Well, with the action sequences, dude, like, I feel like, especially the end, when Penguin's dying and then he confronts Selina, Catwoman, and that whole thing. Batman 89 he literally fights Joker, and in this whole epic moment in the bell tower, and it was so fucking cool. And even before that, in a particular scene in the 89 Batman, that alleyway scene when he takes on the dude with the fucking two knives. Like, it felt more raw. Like, I felt like Batman was more vicious, and then in the second one, he was like, "Yeah, I'm still kind of recovering from what happened, so I can't really go hard."
I think they tried to get that out of the way in the early scenes where you have all the circus fuckers coming out.
No, he was badass in that, but
yeah. So I think what they try to do was they try to like, hey, let's put all the action in the front so we can have this emotional gothic ending at the end. But as a kid, when you're watching that, I was disappointed as fuck. I was like, he's not gonna fight anyone. What the fuck?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, no, specifically the end, because again, everybody, you come off the sexiness and the awesomeness of the ending of Batman 89 when he has this full on fucking frontal assault with Joker in the top of the bell tower, motherfucker. And then he was like, woo, and he's like having they're fighting on the ledge, and the whole thing was badass. And then in this one, it's like Joker is having like icy hot shit melt in his mouth, and he's like, I'll call you momentarily. I was like, your fucking drunk dad just came home from the bar, and then he falls over fat and dead.
Yeah, nobody even kills Penguin.
Like, Batman didn't even touch him. His
Yeah,
penguins killed him.
Yeah, that was disappointing as fuck. And then the stupid penguins come out and they're like, "Dur, dur, 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 dur."
Yeah, it
It's
was
like,
very.
this sucks.
Well,
I hate it.
all Batman did was release, like, he pimp slapped him with his fucking umbrella stick, and then he
Yeah.
falls back because bats come at him, and he's probably afraid of rabies, and then he falls into the fucking ocean of nastiness in the sewer, and that's it. That's how he dies.
And look, I like aesthetically the way it looks, like the emo-ness of it. Like I can get into that, like the way it was at the end where he's telling Selena, he's like, "You and I are the same. We're the same. Like we're split right down the middle." I thought that was kind of cool, like how they did that. I do.
Yeah.
Like in like this dark, like we'll have Halloween on Christmas sort of emo relationship that they have. I did think that was cool.
He should have pulled off his mask.
Well, see, and it looked cool. Like it did look cool when he just rips it off.
It looks like, yeah, it's fake as fuck.
It was
like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It aesthetically it looked cool, and it went with the whole like dark relationship. I love that. But that being said, the second he ripped off his mask, you're trying to tell her. So your goal here is to get Selena Kyle not to kill Max Schreck. You just fucking revealed yourself. Not only that, but he revealed her too. He calls her Selena, and Max Schreck goes, "Selena?" Like he didn't even know. So Bruce outed her as Catwoman, and then he outed him as himself. If they let Max Schreck live, they were both fucking dead.
Well, I feel like
go to Arkham and tell everybody who they were.
I like to go with the assumption that Bruce Wayne, he knew he had him. Like he could use legal documents to prove that he killed all these people and that he was in cahoots with Penguin.
When he goes to Arkham, he's going to spill. He's going to tell everybody Batman's Bruce Wayne.
I think maybe in this particular movie, Batman was trying to say, "I'll retire with you," because she said, "Oh, it would be nice to go live in your castle and have this fairy tale happy ending."
That could be it. Yeah.
I'm like, but that bitch is crazy. The first time I met her, she stabbed me with her fingernail.
Yeah, great, Bruce. You're gonna leave Gotham to be fucked over by the Neanderthals just so you can get a piece of ass. Nice, dude.
I like
just retire. Fuck you. Thanks.
Chris Rock was funny as fuck though. He was like, "Selena Kyle, fired." That's like your fucking life. And he's like, and Bruce, "Wait, why are you dressed as Batman?"
Well, first off, you're fired.
Your life is in balance, and the first thing you say is Selena Kyle, you're fired. And then you look at, and then you say Bruce Wayne. He's like, "And Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed as Batman?" Like, because he is Batman, you moron. Like,
that was funny as fuck.
I like that part too. He's like, "What do you want? You want money? You want jewels?" And she was like, "I want your blood, Max." And he's like, "My blood? I just gave it at the hospital or the office." He was so clueless because he was so absorbed with his own sense of worth. Like I don't even think he considered that he would die or that nobody was going to kill him.
Yeah, there was some.
I think Max Schreck to me is one of the most underused villains, period, in a Batman movie. 100%.
And unheralded, nobody talks about him.
I mean, it's Christopher fucking Walken, dude. You got one of the best actors of all time portraying a crazy, weird J.P. Morgan railroad tycoon villain. Fucking play into it, lean into that, and then Chip, go dad, save yourself, go dad.
He was like a stupid Winklevoss twin.
That motherfucker looked like he got rejected from the casting call of Jersey Shore. Go dad, save yourself. Go dad, no.
That's fucking true, dude. That is true.
But yeah, dude, I mean, ultimately, the movie, it's a good follow up to Batman 89, but it's not the best kind of follow-up. And I feel like Tim Burton really fell in love with his gothic approach. And again, you got to look at this. You got to remember, Edward Scissorhands had just been filmed. He had just got done with Edward Scissorhands. And this movie does feel like Edward Scissorhands at some point. Like the snow and the whole fucking weirdness to it, the weird angles and approaches he takes. The camera's going off with Mike. This is another part.
I'm coming.
Okay, hon. But no, I feel like this 89 Batman was so well done, and it was perfectly cooked on the oven or the stove or whatever you wanted to say, and it was just done in the right way. And in this movie, just there's so much, there's a lot of good about it, but there's a lot of bad about it too. And it's like this weird fucking I just don't know how I feel about you. So 7.5 I think is strong.
I can't get my fucking camera to come back on. What's going on here? Hang on a sec. Like it's on. It's on, but it won't let me join. Like, it won't show my fucking face.
You've broken the camera.
What the shit?
It feels like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand. Shit, fuck. Yeah, like,
what are you doing behind that black screen? Are you playing with your wiener?
Give me a second to try to figure this out.
Okay. So yeah, okay, so fine. We'll talk about this for a second. Mike, it's weird. Well, it's not weird, but Mike and I gave it the same score, 7.5. Now, the main thing is I want to say about this movie, I did enjoy it, and I do have a lot of nostalgia with this movie. You know, just based on, you remember McDonald's was running that campaign. They had the cups, they had it was just, I mean, I don't know, it was really a unique movie that came out with the promotions, and I do remember the toys and stuff like that. But even as a kid, when I watched it, I think I always there was something about it. I'm like, this is not the 89 Batman that I was expecting to see in a sequel. And I know that some people really do love this movie a lot, and people defend this movie and say, oh, it was really good and stuff like that. And I agree that it was different and it was unique in its own way. But I feel like, again, I feel like they wasted the talents of Danny DeVito in a lot of ways, because I think that Danny DeVito was a good Penguin, but I feel like making him some kind of freak show weirdo that hung out with penguins in the sewer of all poopy places, and then had like, I feel like there was a lot of, I feel like they had a lot going on with the character of Penguin, and they didn't know really what to work with, because, you know, he was the leader of the Red Triangle gang. He lived in the sewers. He probably fucked penguins. I don't know. But he also, I feel like they couldn't make up their minds on what to do with that character. And they just ultimately decided that he was going to be some fat, weird pervert that lives in the sewer, that runs for mayor. They ultimately get shut down. And then he's mad at Batman for exposing him. I feel like it was kind of, the character of Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, is a really good character in the Batman comics. I feel like it was almost an insult. Mike is a round circle with a gray face.
I'm trying so hard to.
Oh, there you are. Sort of... You're so small.
Why am I so tiny? What the fuck is going on right now? This is so weird.
Mike's like that one guy in Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory when he gets shrunk and he gets to fit in the TV. Mike TV.
Oh, we'll have to make this fucking work. Hang on a second. This is such.
But yeah, and then, you know, Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer is really well done. She's really good. But again, I feel like the main thing they missed out on, I feel like the two biggest things I think that this movie missed out on, was that they didn't realize that they already had a great villain in Max Schreck, played by Christopher Walken. I think you should have expanded his role. You should have given him more gravitas in the movie. I think he should have been more of a central figure in the movie. And ultimately that didn't happen. And he was kind of left as a supporting character for Penguin and Catwoman, rather than his own particular villainy. And then the other missed opportunity is the I'm getting a fucking headache with all this shifting around.
Yeah,
I feel like
this is
I'm
the best I can do. Thank God.
But yeah, but the other thing I think they missed out on was bringing Billy D. Williams back for Two-Face in that last scene. I think that would have been a great ending with that whole, you know, the whole she kisses him, burns the side of his face. I know it's not comic accurate, but Billy D. Williams, Harvey Dent, they'd already started in 89. He was a great Two-Face, or he was a great Harvey Dent. He would have been a great Two-Face. Then you carry it over into Batman 3. You know, that in a perfect world, Tim Burton would have done Batman 3, and we would have seen that conclusion, at least of the storyline of Harvey Dent. The problem is, and I always say this about Tim Burton, dude, Tim Burton was in love with fucking killing his own characters. I can't stand, that was the only thing I couldn't stand about the 89 Batman and this, that he killed fucking Penguin and Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, and he probably would have continued to do the same thing. They weren't interested in sequels and all that. This is way before Marvel and everything that happened. Ultimately, man, that's just kind of like we said. Like, I mean, we both gave it a 7.5. I think it's I'm glad the movie exists. I think it's the most dark and gothic a Batman story can get. And like, where Batman feels like the beginning of Batman 1989, and Tim Burton just happened to lend his amazing costume design and set design hand to it. This movie feels like a Tim Burton film about Batman, and that's okay. It's not perfect. I feel like they fucked it up with the Penguin, and they fucked it up by not explaining some shit, and they could have spent more time on Batman, but it's 7.5. Still one of the better Batman films, no doubt.
No, for sure. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that they left on the side of the road that they could have put in this movie that would have made it just as good as the 89 Batman, maybe even better. But they just, they didn't, I don't know. I feel like they were going with a very specific type of movie, and that's ultimately what happened. And, love it or hate it, but it is what it is. And that's it. But
yeah, you flew too close to the sun, Miguel.
You were burned, child. You were burned.
Right. Hey guys, this is Mark Wahlberg here, and I just want to tell you about We Watch the Movies Patreon again. They got over 60 full movie commentaries over there, Nicole, plus a new one every month. Almost 100 extra movie reviews, behind the scenes, bloopers, and outtakes videos. They'll send you a signed picture and a Wham Video membership card. You get 20% off all their merch. You get a personalized video message from whatever character you want about whatever topic you choose. Once a month, all the top tier members get together and hang out, live, on the internet. I'll put the link below. Click it, Nicole. Let me in your fucking house.